So without creating a parameter in the macro, I created the macro variable outside in the open code outside the macro. So I'm using that macro inside. Yeah, I'm using that macro variable inside this macro. So you have to remember that whenever we are trying to resolve the macro variable that is present in character. Okay. Uh, so like this in the data steps we will give in quotations like this. So whenever we are giving like this for a macro variable, so we have to give in double quotations. So if we give in single quotations, the macro variable will not resolve. We will get an error. No, will not. We will get an error, but it will not resolve. Okay. Okay. So consider now uh, here the title it was resolved this value, resolved this macro variable value, right? So here you can see here we given ampersand title. So in this macro variable the value is this is as class, right? We use with the macro variable value outside the macro, that is in the open code by using the percentile let. So after executing this macro print, you can see here we got this title properly. So again I'm giving this with single quotation. You can see. So you can see here, do the macro variable resolved here?
No.
No, right? We got just a title only. So whenever we are giving the character macro variable in the character form, so we must and should give in double quotations. So that's why. So whenever we are giving double quotations only, it will resolve that. Otherwise, it will just print that macro variable name only. Okay. So in this, we have another one to discuss. So you can see here, I'm giving the dataset name as underscore null underscore. Mostly we use like this whenever we are creating a macro variables, but we don't want to create a dataset on this. Okay. So you can see here inside this inside the place we are giving the scatter value. I'm giving a macro variable here. So we have to use double quotes here. So I'm pasting code inside the so here you can see in the title I'm using a macro variable here. So here what I'm trying to do is, so whenever we are getting any data, we here suppose if I give Alfred name here, so in the title should be this data belongs to Alfred. So that is the estimated output I am thinking. So you can see. Just a minute. The macro was not executing here. something happened again to the here. I will close the model again. Now it's working fine. So here you can see I created two macro variables. These are positional parameters in the parameters. So first we should give this student name. So I'm giving student name as Alfred. So second I'm giving the title to that. So title we will do. So here I'm given three variables, right? Name, sex, age. So here in the title I want to get like title. So this is class data with name, comma, sex and age, right? Is and I'm executing this. So you can see here more positional parameters found than defined. So what do you and also you can see here we got another warning called apparent symbolic reference age not resolved. Okay, so you can see here percentage. So it was thinking this was a macro variable. So this was not a macro variable. Just we are giving in the title just like text and age. But SAS was thinking it was a macro variable. So and here you can see the parameters are separated by commas, right? So after giving a comma, so it thinks like this is first parameter and this is second parameter, right? And this is third parameter. So it was thinking like that. So based on that, we given three parameters, but in our macro we have only two parameters. So that's why it is showing like more positional parameters found than defined. And This apparent symbolic reference is not resolved because the warning we got because so it was trying to resolve this ampersand age macro variable. So we are not trying to resolve this, but we want this to in our title it should be printed like sex and age, right? So now what we have to do means we have to mask these characters, this and commas. Okay, we have to mask this. To mask this, we have a function. So these functions are called masking functions or macro quoted functions. Okay, so this is that function. So we want to masking from here to here, right? So that's why we have to use this percentile str. So percentile str is nothing but it is a masking function, also called as macro quoted function. Okay, so what this function do means so previously the comma separated is think like it was a parameter separated by parameter separator. So now it was now by giving this percentile str. So it thinks like it is not a parameter separator. It is a value that we are trying to get in our title. And you can see here we given as sex and age. So here now before passing that ampersand age means it was a macro variable and it was trying to resolve that macro variable. So by using this masking function, so we are trying to not to resolve this macro variable. Understand
Yes,
all understand to everyone.
I
Yes, sir.
understand.
Yeah, okay. So this is called as masking function. Suppose if we want to give any percentile symbol in the title or anything. Suppose here in this example I'm giving a title. I'm giving percentile percentage of you can see here you can see the character values it was coming in bold because So here we also have another value called x equal to m. Suppose if I remove this function like masking function, so what will such thing means this equal to symbol, right? We have given is x equal to m, no. So this things like it is a keyword parameter. So it it raises a warning in the log. You can see here more positional parameters found than defined, and it suppose if we given any only two parameters, so it shows that keyword parameters must proceed like positional parameters. So to mask this equal to and ampersand and comma, to all this we use this masking function called percentile str. So actually, so in the previous version of SAS, this percentile str will work only for commas and ampersand symbols. So for this equal to symbols, we have to use another masking function called percentile nrstr. Okay, so this is also a masking function. So basically, it will try to mask equal to and comma and percentile symbol like this. Okay. So now here the updated SAS version, this str percentile str function only. It is masking all this ampersand, comma, percentile equal to. It is masking by using this single function only. I'm just informing that we have another masking function also that is called nrstr. Okay. nrstr is to mask like percentile symbol and equal to equal to, and str used to mask commas and ampersand. Okay, but in 9.4 this str is enough to mask this all this code. Usually we use in the macros we use this for as a separator, right? So ampersand means it was trying to resolve the value. So we are masking this. So comma means it was a parameter separator. So we are trying to mask this. So percentile means so it thinks like it is a we are executing a macro. So to stop that we use this function and equal to for keyword parameters we use equal to. So mostly we have to mask this when we are not using that macros. So not using, so suppose here you see here in the title we are not using this all like comma ampersand percentile equal to. We do not want to resolve that, but still it was trying to resolve and it was thinking these are a parameter separators to do masking all this. We use these functions percentile str and percentile in our str. So these are called as masking functions. Any doubts here? No, right?
No.
So next we will move with uh, macro variables in SQL. Okay. In ProcSQL, we create a macro using into class, into and a column symbol. By using this keyword, we create a macro variable. Here we are using now ProcSQL to create a macro variable, right? So no need to give a creatable statement. So it's fine to give creatable, and it is not required. So here I'm skipping that creatable statement. So you can see here it is a age. So into class, after into class, whatever we are giving a name. So this is considered as a macro variable. So it will create a macro variable by using this name. Okay, so here we are giving given name as age, right? Suppose let's give ABC. So in this, what value will store means it will store age value. Okay. So whose age will store means, so here you can see after that we are given a wait statement where name equal to Alfred, right? So Alfred age is 14 or 13, something like that. So that age value will store in ABC macro variable. So you can see here it was printed automatically in the output window. So, so here we have to use quit statement actually, but it worked without using. So let's try to resolve this macro variable. So what is the macro variable name here?
ABC.
Yeah, you can see here we got a value as 14. Suppose if I remove this wait statement, now what value will it store in this macro variable?
Age.
So it will store the first observation. It was storing all, no, it will just printing. So let's try to resolve this. It will, I think it will store first value. So you can see here it is storing the first observation age value. So in the SAS help, the first observation age value was 14, right? So alpha age is 14. So that's why it was storing the first age. Suppose if you use same thing in data steps, so here you can see I'm giving underscore the null underscore. So here, so same this also same works like that like this. So it will create a macro variable, but it will not create a data set. So that's why mostly whenever we are using a data step to create a macro, we use this underscore null underscore, it will not create any data set. Okay, so this was the previous one. So this was created because we removed this underscore. That's why only it was created. So now let's see. So here, what is the macro variable name?
Here, age only.
So here in the data step.
Also, let's
So I told in
both
the
are both
I told
name and age. Name and age.
I told in the previous session, like in the first argument, it is a macro variable name. The second argument, it is a macro
Value,
variable
value.
value, right? So here
Yes.
I given in quotations, means by using name only, it will create a macro variable. Okay. So here in this the value is age variable values. So so in the data step, actually it will we have 19 observations, right? So in this 19 observation, it will overwrite every time. So first it will get 14, next it is overwritten with 13, next overwritten with 13, again overwritten with 14. Like this, we will get the last age value in the data step. Okay. Now let's run this. You can see here, no data set created here. We will just create a macro variable only. You can see here, we got the age value for the last observation. So whenever we are do not mentioning any where statements or anything, so in the data step, it will all override the values and we will get the last one. But in the SQL, we will get the first one itself. Okay. Do you got my point?
Yes.
Okay. There are many ways to create the macro variables in SQL. Into class only, but in the into class, we have some more ways. Suppose if we want to create a macro variable, that macro variable should consider the all SAS help names. So like in a macro variable, I want values like Alfred, Alice, and Barbara. Like this, I have to get 19 names in a single line. So for that in SQL, you can do select name into ABC separated by space. Okay. So now let's resolve this macro variable. So here also I given the macro variable name as ABC, right? Percent input and percent ABC. So here you can see, do we get the all names here? Alfred, Alice, Barbara, Carol, Henry, James, Jane, Janet, Jeffrey, John. So can see here. So like this, we can give the all variable values in a single macro variable. That is this. Suppose if I want to give created two separate macro variables. In the first macro variables, I want all male names. In the second macro variables, I want all female. For that, we have to give group statement, group by statement, group by sex, and in this, I think can be female. So here we got this warning. I will explain that warning. Into class specifies more host variables group by sex. In just a select class. So first let's try to resolve this.